have looked upward to the divine. Some have looked inward to their own consciousness, others to biology, society. Anthropology is the science that looks in all these directions at once. Hello everyone and welcome to another video of Who Are You? This is a video series explaining human existence, and today we're approaching this subject, this matter of human existence, from the perspective of anthropology. At its simplest, anthropology is the study of humanity, who we are, where we come from, how we live, and what connects us across time and culture. Unlike psychology or biology, anthropology doesn't isolate any one of us. It studies the whole human being, body, mind, history, and meaning as a single interdependent system of all these cultures and communities making up one communal whole. Anthropology asks, how did we become the kind of species that's able to build civilizations, tools, write myths, and wonder about itself in both a physical and concrete point of view to a very abstract and conceptual perspective as well. And this is why anthropology fits perfectly into this series of analyzing who are you, who am I, to best get an idea of how to interpret and understand ourselves from this study and scientific perspective. The word anthropology comes from the Greek word anthropos, meaning human, and logos, meaning study or reasoning. Anthropology is both a science and a humanity, as it uses evidence like archaeology and genetics, but also interpretation, trying to understand why humans behave and believe the way they do. Modern anthropology was developed in the 19th century when explorers and early scientists began to compare human societies across the entire globe. Scholars like Franz Boas, often called the father of American anthropology, argued that you couldn't judge one culture by the standards of another. This became known as cultural relativism, the idea that behaviors and beliefs make sense within their own context to the cultures in which they belong. Today, anthropology is usually divided into four interconnected fields. Cultural anthropology, which studies living societies, their customs, beliefs, systems, values, and societal organization. This viewpoint examines how humans create meaning, how we form relationships, and how we define our own identity. Archaeology studies material remains, the objects, architecture, and technologies that are left behind from earlier societies so that we can better understand how they lived. Archaeology represents our collective memory in a physical form. Biological anthropology explores the evolutionary and physical aspects of humanity, such as fossils, genetics, primatology, and adaptation. It connects us with our ancestors and our kin within the animal kingdom as well. Linguistic anthropology investigates language, how it shapes thought, organizes culture, and enables complex social life for humans. Language isn't just communication, it's cognition made available and public to others. Together, these four fields give anthropology its holistic perspective, the belief that you can't fully understand humans by just studying one dimension in isolation. You have to have this dynamic worldview of different global cultures interacting and taking inspiration from each other over the course of thousands of years. Anthropology's central insight is that culture defines what it means to be human. Culture isn't just art or tradition, it's a learned system of ideas, symbols, and practices that tell us how to live. Culture teaches us how to eat, love, work, dress, think, and even how to question these rules that we live by every day. As Clifford Geertz wrote in The Interpretation of Cultures in 1973, humans are animals suspended in webs of significance that they themselves have spun. Anthropology is the attempt to interpret these webs and to understand how each society creates a better world that feels natural to it, more belonging, to see where people fit best in the world and in their greater community. Anthropology rejects the idea of a self-existing apart from society, as humans naturally are not isolated minds. We are very social organisms, and our individuality is always negotiated through language, custom, and expectation. There is this anthropological idea of enculturation, the process by which people learn their culture through observation, imitation, and participation. From birth, we absorb patterns of behavior that make us recognizable members of a group. We internalize values, symbols, categories, what's masculine and feminine, sacred and profane, polite and rude, acceptable and unacceptable in our given society or culture.
And it is through this process that we become culturally legible. The person that you are, your gestures, humors, ambitions, your sense of morality, it's all in large part a product of your cultural environment. But anthropology also sees humans as agents, capable of reshaping culture, not just reproducing it. That tension between structure and freedom is what makes human life dynamic, as culture shapes the individual, but individuals also reimagine culture. At its deepest level, anthropology is an inquiry into existence itself, exploring how humans have interpreted their place within the world through religion, myth, art, and science. Every culture develops its own answers to these existential questions of where do we come from, why do we suffer, and what happens when we die. And by studying these answers cross culturally, anthropology reveals the diversity of human meaning making. Anthropology shows that no single worldview owns the truth about being human. Every worldview expresses the same drive, however, to find coherence in existence, and it seems to be that uniting force of why anthropology has such profound philosophical implications, as there's this implication that humanity is plural, that we're meant to exist in this communal space of cooperation and helping each other. There's no universal way of being human, there's no single definition. There's a spectrum of adaptations, beliefs, and experiences shaped by our history and environment, but at the same time, anthropology affirms our shared condition. We all create symbols, rituals, and relationships to make sense of life, regardless of where we are in the world or in this timeline of humanity. This search for meaning is the common thread of our species, and being able to assist each other and help each other in discovering that purpose, that guidance, is why we're here today.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. I greatly appreciate your attention to this video. I hope you learned something, and if you did, please feel free to click that subscribe button and tap the notification bell to be notified of new uploads. Content should be uploaded every Friday as we continue exploring this video series of explaining and exploring who are you. Again, I thank you for watching. Until next time.